Alrighty, we should be live now. What is up, guys? Happy Friday. Good to be back after a day off yesterday for me. We have a huge 8-game slate here. A lot to talk about. There's a good amount of value here. There's a couple different ways you can go, right? There's, spend up for Harden, obviously. I don't think Harden is going to be that high owned, or you can go with a lot of those 7 to 8K range guys like Booker, Ayton, Porzingis, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid. I like there's a lot of guys I really like in that range as well. But let's talk about what we know so far. So let's go to the beginning of the day here. A lot to go over. Let's see. All right. Cam Reddish ruled out. Kemba is playing. He's going to be on a 30 minutes limit. So can Kemba get you there in 30 minutes against Atlanta? Of course he can. But I just like the upside more on guys priced around him. Like, I'd much rather get to Tatum with no Jaylen Brown, no Gordon Hayward. Tatum's going to play huge minutes. And, yeah, Atlanta, one of the best possible spots. So I have a good amount of interest in Tatum there. Let's see. Some of the stuff is for Saturday. Some of the stuff not too important, to be honest. Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Solomon Hill, all unlikely to make the Heat debut. So, Miami's going to be really thin. Miami is probably my favorite team to target. It's close with them. I like the Suns a lot against Houston. But Miami, they're going to be super shorthanded. Dragic, Nunn, Jones Jr., Kelly Olynyk. I love all those guys. You could even make an argument for Bam. My issue with Bam is you got Ayton, you got Porzingis, you have Tatum, you have Embiid, who I like the upside a little bit more on those guys compared to Bam. But that doesn't make Bam out of play. I just think he's not my favorite guy in that range. Also, the Pistons are going to be shorthanded. No Brandon Knight, no John Henson. A guy like Thon Maker, I think is probably my favorite Pistons play right now, just because my lineup's going a little bit more stars and scrubs. So, he's at almost mid-price. We've seen games when Drummond's out. He starts and plays about 20 or so minutes. Now, they only have Christian Wood as a backup, so if he gets in foul trouble, you can see Thon Maker getting even more run. Porzingis will play. I like him a good amount. People have asked me already, Porzingis, Ayton. I think it's a coin flip, to be honest. Both are in tremendous spots. You're going to have Ayton matched up against P.J. Tucker in a really fast-paced game. You have Porzingis with no Doncic against Washington. Literally a coin flip for me with Porzingis and Ayton. That's how close it is. I love both those guys. Seth Curry, J.J. Barea are playing. With them in, that takes me definitely off Brunson, DeLon Wright as well. Let's see. Ish Smith will start a point guard. I think he's a viable cheap option for sure. And then let's see. Some of the stuff is for Saturday. Dedmon won't make his debut. Victor Oladipo will play Friday, rest Saturday. Okay, but that's what we got so far. So let's take a look at some numbers here. We have Dallas and Washington right now sitting at 234 over under 4-point spread. Dallas are favored. We have Memphis and Philadelphia sitting at 223. The 76ers are favored by 6. We have the Hawks and the Celtics 232.5. Boston are still 10-point favorites with no Jaylen Brown and no Gordon Hayward. Detroit, OKC, 214.5, 13-point spread. OKC is favored by. Rockets, Suns, 235 over under. The Rockets favored by 2.5. Another build I really like for GPPs. Harden, Booker, Ayton. Go from there. I love that stack. Miami, Sacramento. Again, Miami, probably my favorite team to target. 219.5, 1-point spread. Portland, Utah, 228.5. Utah favored by 9.5. And that's what we got so far. But yeah, real quick before I get into the team-by-team breakdown, if you guys could take 2 seconds out of your day, hit that like button. It really helps me out. Again, all free content here with videos, live streams, Twitter, answering you guys' questions. So would really appreciate if you hit that like button. But all right, let's do it. 8 games. We'll start with Dallas. Dallas is pretty simple for me now. With Seth Curry and J.J. Barea playing, it's Kristaps, and that's it. And I like Kristaps a lot here. That last game where he broke his nose, did not come back, only played 29 minutes, had 60 fantasy points in that time. There's just, again, if you're asking me Porzingis versus Ayton, it's literally a coin flip. You could definitely play both. I love Porzingis, one of my favorite plays here at 8.8. I don't think he's going to be that high owned. I don't think, the broken nose, he's going to play limited minutes. So I think we probably get mid-30s minutes from him in an amazing spot against Washington. So I love Porzingis as a spend up. Everyone else is a complete fade for me. I'm not going to Brunson or DeLon Wright with Seth Curry, JJ Barea back. Maxi Kleber at 4.4. I prefer other value plays. I prefer the Heat value to Kleber. So pretty simple. It's literally Porzingis, and that's it for me. On the Washington side, Shabazz active, will play Friday against the Mavs. Yes, he's going to come off the bench. That completely takes Ish Smith out of play for me. I know he's starting, but really the only interest for me is Beal, and that's a complete contrarian option. I would much rather get to Harden for an extra couple thousand more. I would much rather pay down for Booker, Ayton, Porzingis, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum. Those five in that 8K range. I love those five guys. So Beal, just a contrarian option. Again, I see myself either getting to Harden or those five guys in that 8K range. Beal, not really for me, or I'm not going to prioritize them. If you're making multiple lineups, you can throw them in there one. But yeah, I just prefer those guys in the 8K range. Memphis, this will also be pretty quick. Not a whole lot I'm liking here. JV is still questionable. We should get the news somewhat soon because this is a 6 o'clock central tip. Let me check one more time in Fantasy Lab, see if we got anything else. Okay, yeah, nothing else yet. So if JV misses, you can consider Triple J and Brandon Clark, but I still don't know if I would get there. We do have, let's see, Justice Winslow's out. I don't think Gorgie Jang is going to be available. Yeah, won't play Friday. My issue is just I like the value better in Miami. I like Enes Kanter more as a value play. I like probably Thon Maker, I think, is a pretty solid value play. So I don't really see myself getting to these Memphis guys. I could see taking a shot on D'Anthony Melton, who probably gets more minutes at 3.7K, but that's only for tournaments for me. So really not a whole lot I'm interested in on the Memphis side. Let's move on to Philly. So Philly, there's a couple plays I really like here. Joel Embiid at 8.5. Really, really like him. He shot the ball terribly. 6 of 26. Still put up 45 fancy points. 8.5K is just extremely underpriced. So you're going to have to make a tough call tonight because I think you probably play Kanter in one of your center spots, and then you're going to have to choose between Joel Embiid, DeAndre Ayton, even Porzingis if you want to play in the center. So you're going to have to make a tough call there. I like all three of those guys a lot. It's literally basically a coin flip for me. If you're going to ask me between Embiid, Porzingis, Ayton, I don't really have a great answer. I love all three of those guys. So, yeah, really can't go wrong here with Embiid. 8.5K is too cheap. I think he's going to want to come out and put on a good performance after shooting the ball terribly. You could also make an argument for Ben Simmons at 8K. I think he's too cheap for the minutes he gets. I would prefer Embiid, but I think Ben Simmons is viable. Harrison, Horford, not really guys to look to when everyone's healthy. Those are usually guys that take shots on if either Ben Simmons or Embiid misses. Burks and Glenn Robinson won't play, so don't play those guys. Don't have to touch the value here, no way. So, yeah, Embiid, definitely my favorite play there at 8.5K. I have a lot of interest in him. Also have some interest in Ben Simmons. Atlanta, Boston. Atlanta side will be pretty quick to me. There's a lot of guys questionable here, but it's Trey Young as a very contrarian spend up, and that's it. Again, I prefer Harden. I prefer Booker, Ayton, Porzingis, Embiid, and Tatum. Those are the spend ups I want to get for my lineups for cash games, right? Now, sure, you can take a shot at Trey Young, but cannot prioritize him there at that price against Boston. Marcus Smart, pretty solid defender. Everyone else, pretty simple here too. Nothing I really have interest in. So now we move on to Boston. Boston is a little bit more interesting, right? Because we have no Jaylen Brown, no Gordon Hayward. Kemba is going to play, but only play 30 minutes. So the argument is, can he still get 50 fancy points in 30 minutes? Yes. But I would much rather play Devin Booker at a similar price, who would probably get 38 minutes from against Houston. Just that simple, right? So I can't really get to Kemba there. Jason Tatum is one of my favorite plays here at 8.1. Again, I'm going to repeat myself a lot, but It's Harden as a spend up, Ayton, Booker, Porzingis, Embiid, Tatum. Those are the guys I want to mix in my line. If you're making multiple lineups, I would start with those 6 spend ups and then kind of sprinkle in the value. Again, the Miami value I like a lot. Enes Kanter, one of my favorite plays. But Tatum, with those 2 out, he's going to play huge minutes, probably close to 40. We saw him put 62 fancy points up the last game. He's going to have to shoot the ball a ton here. So I really like Tatum there at 8.1. Let's see. Marcus Smart is even viable, 5.8. If you want to go a little bit more mid-range, I'm fine with that. I like getting a Smart when Kemba's out, but I could still see him. He's going to play big minutes too, so I'm fine with Marcus Smart. And then Enes Kanter, there's no way I'm fading him here at 4.4. He's going to start most likely, probably play about 25 to 26 minutes. That's what we've seen from him when Daniel Tice has been out. I know he didn't have the best game against Orlando, but that was a much tougher spot. This is Atlanta here. So I love Kanter at 4.4. One of my favorite value plays. Definitely going to be included in my core. I know he's going to be chalky. I'm eating the chalk there at 4.4. Yeah, love him there. And that's about it. You can take a shot on a guy, Grant Williams. I think it's more run. We don't know the Boston starting lineup yet. He could definitely get some more minutes. I think he is viable, cheap option for sure. He's gotten 28 and 29 28 and 29 fantasy points the last couple of games. So I do have some interest in Grant Williams. More of a GPP play though for me. And that's basically it. I don't really see myself getting to anyone else. So all in all, it's Tatum and Kanter. Love both those guys at the top. Don't really see myself getting to Kemba on a minutes limit. I'm fine with Marcus Smart. I think he's a pretty solid play. And then Grant Williams is an okay value play as well. Let's move on to Toronto and the Pacers. So this is a game where, again, it makes it a bit tricky to get these guys. In my opinion, I just want to get those stars I talked about with Harden and those other 5 guys in that 8K range, where these guys it's a little bit more tricky. Lowry and Ibaka would be my preferred place here. Lowry put up 62 in this matchup last time. Ibaka put up 44. But I think they're just more contrarian. I don't think I get here for cash games in a tough. I think there's better spots, right? There's Miami, the shorthand Miami team. There's the Houston Phoenix game. I don't think I can prioritize these guys. Now, I think they are still playable for GBPs. Again, Ibaka and Lowry would be my guys here in Toronto, but I don't think I can get there for cash games. If you want to build more balanced lineup, that's fine. You can get to those guys, but I just love the upside in those 5 8K guy range that I talked about, and then Harden too. So that's really it. It's Ibaka, it's Lowry. I have a good amount of interest, but only for GPPs. I don't really think I get there for cash. On the Pacers side, this will be pretty quick. I'm not getting Sabonis or Brogdon. I know Brogdon had a good game at 6.4. There's better plays in my opinion. Oladipo is going to play. You can take a shot, but he's been absolutely terrible. I think a breakout game will come soon. No TJ Warren, so like the Holiday brothers will get more minutes. McDermott will get some run, but there's just better value on the Miami side, to be honest. So that basically wraps up for the Pacers. Not a whole lot I'm interested in. On the Detroit side, this is a little different. I do have some interest here in Detroit. No Derrick Rose, no Markieff Morris, no Luke Kennard, no John Henson, no Steve Mikhailuk, obviously no Blake, no Kyrie Thompson, no Brandon Knight. Drummond's gone. So let's just list off their available players, right? So Reggie's 1, Wood is 2, Brown is 3, Galloway's 4, Sekou's 5, Tony Snell's 6, Frazier's not on the team, he got released, Thon Maker 7, Bone and King are 8 and 9. Jordan Bone and Lewis King don't think they play that much, so that's basically a 7-man rotation. I think my favorite play here, just point per dollar, is Thon Maker at he is min price. So we've seen the games, these 2 games here when Drummond is out, played 23 and 20 minutes, 30 and 26 fantasy points. He's actually a pretty solid point per minute guy. And yeah, like I said, Christian Wood's not going to play the whole game. So I think Thon Maker probably starts, probably gets 20 to 25 minutes at min price. I think he's one of the better value plays. I think he is my favorite play on the Pistons side. But I also have some interest in Sekou at 3.5. His minutes have been a little bit up and down. He hasn't been great, but I think he gets some good run here. Galloway, probably not for me at that price. And then we get to a little bit more pricey guys. So Bruce Brown at 4.9 is definitely playable. He's played 38, 38, 33 minutes. I think he's certainly doable. We've seen upside games from Bruce Brown. So he is definitely in play. I think I just prefer Nunn, Dragic, those guys at a similar price to Bruce Brown, but that doesn't make Bruce Brown out of play. And then Wood and Reggie Jackson. Both these guys are going to be the main catalyst in the offense. So it's a revenge spot for Reggie. So I like him a good amount at 6.1. Same thing with Christian Wood's going to have to do more offensively. It just makes it a bit tricky for me, roster construction-wise, with I want to get Harden or, a couple of those guys in the 8K range. I have those 5 guys, right? So right now, I'm not getting to Wood or Reggie Jackson just because I'm in love with those 5 8K guys I talked about and Harden. So I think for me, it's a little bit more contrarian with Wood and Reggie Jackson, but that doesn't make them out of play. I still have interest there. Again, my favorite play, I think, is Thonmaker at min price. I think that's a pretty solid play for a guy that probably gets 20 to 25 minutes. OKC, this will be really quick. Nothing I'm interested in, especially for cash games. There's no way I get to any of these guys. It's a good spot against Detroit, but there's probably a decent chance this game blows out. Right? It's a 13-point spread. So there's just no way I can prioritize getting to SJ and Chris Paul when you can get to Devin Booker, you can get to DeAndre Ayton, you can get to Porzingis, you can get to Joel Embiid, you can get to Jason Tatum. Those guys are just in dream spots. Doesn't make sense for me to get to any of these guys. So it's a really easy fade for me on the OKC side. Nothing I'm interested in. Houston, Phoenix. This is probably my favorite game-to-game stack. It's going to be a popular one for sure. 235 over under. So Harden, love him here at 12.1. Westbrook, do not play him. He is resting this game. So don't go Westbrook. Harden has immense upside with no Westbrook. We've seen it the last game at Charlotte, 40 minutes, 79 fantasy points. He's a guy that I think has about a 10% chance to get 100 fantasy points. In this spot, this game's going to be played at a really fast pace. I'm not scared of Rubio or Devin Booker defense, or if they try to throw Oubre, it doesn't matter. Harden's going to shoot the ball a ton. I know he had an off game the last game with Westbrook playing. Doesn't worry me at all. I don't think his ownership is going to be that high. I don't. Because there's those guys I listed off in the 8K range that I really like. And I think you can go two ways here. I think you can play Harden and 2 of those guys in the 8K range I talked about, or you could play 3, maybe 4. I don't think you could get 4 of those guys in the 8K range. Maybe you could, and then goes completely stars and scrubs. But my build right now is for cash games is Harden, 2 of those guys in that 8K range, and then a lot of the Miami value. Cantor's a value play. So gotta love Harden here, 12.1. I will be playing him. I don't think he's going to be like the absolute chalk he's been when Westbrook is out because there's so many good plays. But I really like him at that price. Everyone else, I don't see myself getting to. Covington's a guy I have seen people talk about liking him. I don't get there at 5.7. We probably get over 30 minutes from him. He's a guy that does have upside, but not fitting my roster build right now, my roster construction. So more of just a secondary play for me. And then I don't really see myself getting to PJ Tucker, House, Gordon, McLemore, Rivers. Yeah, it's kind of a fade. So Harden for me, and that's about it. On the Phoenix side, I like a lot here for Phoenix. Booker and Ayton especially. DeAndre Ayton's going to be matched up against PJ Tucker. We've seen him play huge minutes. He's been playing really well. He should crush in this spot, up-tempo game. I love Ayton at 8.6. Again, if you're going to ask me between Ayton, Embiid, and Porzingis, it's a coin flip. Those guys are literally the same to me. I love all 3 of those guys. Ayton is just in a smash spot here against PJ Tucker. Also, gotta really like Devin Booker at 7.9. I know he's had back-to-back not-so-good games. Doesn't worry me. This is a spot where he could put up 50, even 60 against Houston. So I love Devin Booker too. I love Ayton. I also have some mention at Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio. Now they're a little bit more contrarian for me, but I can still see Oubre having a huge game at this price. Same thing with Rubio, who's been terrible recently. But is this the game we finally get a big Ricky Rubio game? Right, he does have upside. Right, 65 in the last game against New York, or that game 10 games ago. So the upside is there. You're going to get him a low ownership, but I'm fine getting to him. Bridges, I would rather get to Rubio, so don't see myself getting to Bridges. That's really it. So, yeah, this game in general, again, I think you can run a pretty solid game stack here. Just throw Harden, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton in. You got 4.2K remaining. Get some of those Miami players in there. Get Cantor in there. You can have yourself a pretty solid build there, in my opinion. So I like that a lot. with Harden, Booker, and Ayton. But let's move on to Miami, Sacramento. Miami is, probably my favorite team to target. They're also going to be super, super thin. So let's go over how many players they're going to have active, right? Bam Adebayo's 1, Dragic 2, Nunn 3, Jones Jr. 4, Duncan Robinson 5, Kelly Olynyk 6, and then that's really their core, right? Because sure, they can dust off 50-year-old Udonis Haslem for a couple minutes. They can dust off Gabe Vincent. I don't even know who this guy is, but he'll probably get a little bit of run. Chris Silva, I think gets a little bit of run. Casey Okpala, maybe gets a couple minutes, right? But they're going to be really thin. So I think that core guys of Kelly O, Duncan Robinson, Jones Jr., Nunn, Dragic, and Bam Adebayo are going to play the majority of the minutes. My 2 favorite plays here are Dragic and Nunn. Love both those guys. They're going to be in my core tonight. 5.3K he's going to come out the bench, but he's going to play probably about 30 minutes. He's going to have to do a whole lot offensively with no Jimmy Butler. So I love Dragic here, 5.3. He's going to be chalky. I'm eating the chalk. I'm also eating the chalk with Kendrick Nunn. I think you play both these guys. Love the upside in both. 4.8K is too cheap. He shot the ball 5 of 17 last game, still put up 30 fancy points. So I love Nunn. I love Dragic. 2 of my favorite plays of the day. I will be playing both of them. Bam Adebayo, I like his upside. I like those other 5 guys a little bit more. Booker, Ayton, Porzingis, Embiid, Tatum. I prefer those guys. I like the upside a little bit more on those guys compared to Bam. Now, that doesn't make Bam out of play, but I'm just going to get to those 5 guys more. Now, for the late slate, yeah, for sure, you can get to Bam. But my main priorities here are Dragic and Nunn. I'm fine getting to Derrick Jones Jr. as well, 4.8. Played 37, 31 minutes back-to-back games. Don't think he shoots the ball 10 of 12 again, but the upside is here on Derrick Jones Jr. So I'm fine playing all 3 of those guys if you want. Duncan Robinson, not as high, just because he's a little bit scoring dependent. He's going to play big minutes, but I would rather get to Nunn. I'd rather get to Dragic. I'd rather get to Jones Jr. And then Kelly Olynyk. I actually do have a good amount of interest in Kelly Olynyk at 3.3. He started, played 22 minutes. There's a chance he gets more minutes this game, right? Because maybe they run him at the backup 5. We don't know. But they're just super, super short-handed. So I think we probably get over 25 minutes from Kelly Olynyk at 3.3K. I like him a good amount as a value play. So there is just so much to like here on the Miami side. Kelly O, Jones Jr., Nunn, Dragic. I think I would rank my Miami plays Dragic 1, Nunn 2, Jones Jr. 3, Kelly O 4. And then again, Bam is a spend up if you want to get there. But love those guys. They're going to play. They could run like a 7-man rotation. And it's against Sacramento. Pretty decent spot here. So love all those Miami guys. Definitely going to want some Miami exposure tonight. On the Sacramento side, honestly, not a whole lot I like here. Fox is okay, but I just like those guys that I've talked about already in that 8K range. Buddy Hield, there's no way I'm prioritizing him at 5.7. Bielitsa, not for me. Holmes is questionable. This is actually something to keep an eye on. If he can't go, then they're going to be really thin because Jabari Parker is not available. He's still injured. Alex Len is not going to be available for this one. So they could be down to literally Harry Giles. Eric Micah, I believe they waived him. Yeah, was waived. So Harry Giles could be the only big here in Sacramento. And if that's the case, if Holmes is out, I think we probably get close to 20 minutes from Giles. At this price, he's very, very similar to Thon Maker, where I don't think they're going to play huge minutes, but they're listed at mid-price, and these guys are productive guys. So if Rashawn Holmes can't go, Harry Giles would be a value play I would have a good amount of interest in. That's about it, though. It's really Giles, and that's it for me as far as interest goes. Again, only if Holmes is out. If Holmes plays, there's absolutely no interest in me in Giles. So that's strictly dependent on the status of Holmes. Let's move on to the last game. This game is... I don't think I get to anyone here in cash games. But for the late slate, I do have some interest. Again, even for the main slate, I think my favorite play in this game is Whiteside at 7.7. But I just like the upside a little bit more on those other guys I've talked about. So Whiteside is a guy, and he's also questionable too. We still have to, this is something to keep an eye on for sure. If he can't go, we know Utah runs big. So I think Caleb Swanigan would then become a viable value play. The tricky part is he's a center, and there's so many good center plays. You're going to play Cantor in one of your spots, or I think you should. And then you got, Ayton, Porzingis, Joel Embiid. Makes it tricky to get to Swanigan. Now, if Whiteside gets ruled out, I'm playing Swanigan 100% in the late slate. There's no chance, there's no doubt about it. I'd assume he starts. I guess they could run small ball like Trevor Ariza or Melo at the 5. I don't really see that happening. The only other big they really have is Wenyen Gabriel, but I think the best chance would be Swanigan. And yeah, this is a guy that pretty much only for the late slate, and that's, again, only if Whiteside gets ruled out. Everyone else, Lillard, contrarian option for the late slate for me. Don't have a whole lot of interest in CJ or Melo or Ariza. So all in all, if I was going to play someone on the main slate, it would be Whiteside if he plays, but his status is up in the air. On the Utah side, I think Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley are my favorite plays here. Makes it a little bit tricky. I think Mike Conley at 5.4, it's tricky, right? Because he's been terrible, and then the last couple of games he's played really well. So I don't think he's going to continue this level of production, but I don't think he's going to be that bad either. I think he's going to be somewhere in the middle. So I think Conley's a pretty solid play at this price. I do have some interest in him in the main slate for sure. Donovan Mitchell as well, but I would rather get up to those guys in the 8K range as opposed to Donovan Mitchell at 6.9. But that's really it. Yeah, so I think my favorite play here is Conley at 5.4. All right, we got about a little over 15 minutes to lock. Let me check Fantasy Labs one more time here. Then I'll give you guys my core. Oh, we got Trey Young doubtful. Well, that changes some stuff. All right, let's see. Bruno Fernando out, Trey Young out. Mavs start Brunson, Lee, Hardaway Jr., Finney-Smith, Porzingis. Hawks available if Trey Young is out are Teague, Herter, Hunter, Collins, Jones, Goodwin, Graham, Brown Jr., Carter. So that'll be 9 available players. Okay, well now back to the drawing board a little bit, I guess. So with Trey Young out, I think Collins is definitely a viable spend up. This game worries me a little bit now too because I think there's a better chance this game blows out. I still think I like those other guys I listed earlier above John Collins, but now John Collins is more in play for me. Guys like Herter and Teague are now viable as well with no Trey Young. I think Teague, Herter, these guys are guys you can take shots on for sure. Brandon Goodwin, even off the bench, he's going to get more run. I think he's a viable punt option. I think we probably get 25 or so minutes from him, so I think he's now certainly in play. I don't really think I see myself getting to Travion Graham or Vince Carter. So I think really my main interest here on Atlanta is Goodwin at the very bottom there at min price, or Teague and Herter, 5.5 for Herter, 4.7 for Teague. So those would be my main interest there on the Atlanta side with Herter, Teague, and Goodwin. I still don't think you have to play one of these Atlanta guys, but now it makes them more viable. I do have more interest in these guys. I still think I like the Miami guys more compared to these Atlanta guys. So, again, that changes some things for sure with Trey Young out, but I will let's go over my core today. So, for cash games, it's gonna be a chalky core for sure, but I don't see myself getting away from these Miami guys. So, we will go Dragic and Kendrick Nunn. Those are my two favorite plays here, 4.8. 5.3K. Miami's going to be super, super thin. No Jimmy Butler. So those two guys I have a lot of interest in. Cantor, I'm eating the chalk there as well. He's too cheap for a matchup against Atlanta. So those three, that's a pretty solid value core. From here, I think you can do a lot, right? I think you either get Harden in. So this is my core for value. Is Nunn, Cantor, Dragic. From here, I think you try to get either Harden in and a couple of those 8K guys, or you can get 3 of those 8K guys. Again, those guys are Booker, Ayton, Porzingis, Embiid, and Jason Tatum. Those 5 with Harden, I would try to mix in with this core and go from there. So yeah, hopefully that helps for this 8-game slate. Again, Trey Young being out does make those Atlanta guys more viable, but yeah, I think that's really it. So let's get to some questions here. Again, if you guys enjoy this content, would appreciate it if you hit that like button. Looking for a sub 6,200 forward play. Wood best option. 6,200. Let's see. So you got Christian Wood here. Yeah, Christian Wood's definitely the best option here. I'm not going to DFS or Triple J. I guess you could look to Triple J if Jonas Valanciunas gets ruled out. I don't think we've gotten that news yet, have we? That is a game that's going to lock here in 15 minutes. I have not seen, unless I missed it, I have not seen Jonas Valanciunas news. Yeah, I don't see that yet. So that's the way I would go. I'd probably go Wood there. Fading Teague and Cash, okay? Yeah, of course. I don't think you have to play Teague at all. I prefer Dragic and Nunn still to Teague. Now, I do have interest in Teague. I do have interest in Herter, and I do have interest in Goodwin. So if you want to plug in one of those Atlanta guys, I think that's certainly doable. It's huge usage out of there. So going Trey Young or Herter from here, say you go, Herter or Jeff Teague. So if we throw in, let's just throw in Jeff Teague, right? Then that's 7.8K remaining. You can probably get Harden in there if you want to, or 3 pretty solid guys in that 8K range. So that's an option too. I'm okay getting the Teague. I think I like the Miami guys a little bit more, though. I'm fading Teague and Cash. I don't think you had to play Teague. I think he's a solid play for sure. I don't think he's a must. Dragic, Harden, Tatum, Clark, Cantor, Teague, Maker, Siakam. Not super excited about Siakam there at that price. Clark would only go there if JV gets rolled out. Thoughts on Lee starting for Dallas? No interest at all. Ready for the XFL? Yeah, XFL, I'm going to have that up right after this. I think I'm going to record that. So be on the lookout for that. I've been doing a little bit too much research for that. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that video. Beal off the bench. Wait, what? Wait, the corpse of Courtney Lee is starting. Beal isn't starting. That's strange. Where do you see... Am I losing it? I don't see the Washington starting lineup. I probably am losing it because it's Friday. It's been a long week. But let's see. Will Barton, McRae, Sixers, Mavs, Oladipo, Dedmon. I don't see this starting lineup. So I don't know. Let's see. Derek Jones Jr. or Grant Williams, tournament play. I still like the upside a little bit more. Derek Jones Jr. if you can get there. Lillard, Harden, Snell, Ayton. Who's a good 5K power forward? 5K power forward. Let's see. Don't think there's a whole lot I'm super excited about here. I would go Derek Jones Jr. at 4.8. That's the way I would do it. Nunn, Booker, Oubre, Olynyk, Ayton, Mitchell, Maker, Bam. That's okay. It's a little bit contrarian, right? Bam, I don't think it's going to be that high owned. Mitchell's going to be a little bit low owned, in my opinion. Oubre's going to be low owned. Everything else is solid. So, yeah, I'm good with that. Tatum still in play? Yeah. I mean, I like Tatum a lot here. It's really that those 5 guys that are basically the same for me with Tatum and Embiid, Ayton, Booker, and Porzingis. I want exposure to all 5 of those guys. Yeah, sure. I mean, now there's a better chance the game blows out, which does worry me a little bit with Tatum for sure. Best small forward at 4,900. I'm thinking Jones Jr., but I already have Dragic and Nunn. I would go Jones Jr. I mean, I could look at small forward again, but yeah, I mean, there's no way I play Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Lamb, Joe Ingles over Jones Jr., who's going to play 35 or so minutes. So it's Jones Jr. Thoughts for GPP: Teague, Nunn, Jones Jr., Collins, Ayton, Dragic, Gordon, Bam, and Adebayo. That's fine. Balling like James Harden. How many Heat guys in one lineup? I got 4. I have 3 because I have Harden in my lineup, so I'm taking some shots on some really cheap guys, but I have 3. I have Dragic, Nunn, and Kelly Olynyk. Thon and Harry Giles, yes. Thon is a guy I like at min price. Harry Giles, that's dependent on Rashawn Holmes news. Dragic, Nunn, Brown, Maker, Ayton, Jackson, Porzingis, and Embiid. No issues there at all. Dragic, 5,300, FanDuel. Yeah, Beal isn't starting. which means maybe he sits. They're trolling. I mean, if it's on RotoWire, I mean, I trust Fantasy Labs. That's Trey Young ruled out. I still don't see the Beal news, so I think that could I think that could be fake news. I don't know. What? Let me Twitter search Brad Beal. Let's see. Sorry if I missed some of your guys' questions here, but this is pretty big news if Brad Beal somehow is not playing. Yeah, I mean, I literally see no news on Brad Beal. So I think that is. Oh, Jonas Valanciunas will start. I don't know, guys. I think that could be fake news. Beal legit isn't starting. Can you guys link me that? What about Swanigan? Strictly dependent on Whiteside. Unless the lineup changed from an hour ago, it was Ish, Beal, Bonga, Rui, Mahimi. Okay, thank you. Roto has it confirmed with green light, no Beal there. I don't trust RotoWire. Jones Jr. and Dragic. Jones Jr. and Dragic or Oubre and Thon. I'll go Jones Jr. and Dragic. Wood or Collins for GPP. I have some interest in John Collins. If they're going to keep it close, he's gonna be the one. So I guess John Collins there. The only thing that you heard of these blowouts, I have 4 Heat guys in my lineup. Is that too many? Dragic, Olynyk, Nunn, Jones Jr. I don't. I think you can play all 4 of those guys. I really do. Last roster spot, Nunn, Hunter, or Goodwin, and Wood. Hunter. We're talking about DeAndre Hunter, right? 4.3 will be available. Not big on DeAndre Hunter, but I love the upside of Nunn, so I will go Hunter and Nunn there. Don't fade Harden. Thoughts on Grant Williams? I think he is a viable punt option. I think he is. I think we probably get 25 to 30 minutes from him unless you're doing multiple lineups. You can take a chance. Let us know. If you're 1 or 2 lineups. Best forward on 4K. It's real. Fake news. Roto. Again, I don't really. Yeah, but Beal is not starting and Shabazz is expected to play. Trey officially out. Yep. Ayton on Porzingis and DK. I'm sorry, it's a coin flip for me. I love both those guys. Did I miss the core? Yeah, so core is these 3 guys, and then the spend ups I like are Harden, Ayton, Booker, Porzingis, Embiid, and Jason Tatum. Those are the guys I would try to mix in with this core. There's some other really cheap value guys I've talked about, Olynyk, Thon Maker. Some of those Atlanta guys are now viable as well. Young out, yep. So, I mean, Beal Herter, Brandon Goodwin, those guys are viable. Beal starting, check the Wizards' Twitter. Yep, I knew. I mean, RotoWire, I don't really trust that. Fantasy Labs is, I trust them 100%. So, yeah, Beal starting. Oh, hey, if you do guys left my email for the 20, I think from Saturday, you said I won. Oh, yeah, I can, hit me up on Twitter, Eric. I must have missed that in the YouTube comment section, but hit me up on hit me up on my Twitter. I can get you that $20 PayPal for sure. Can I play Hashimura and Ingles together? No, I wouldn't. Thoughts on Oubre? I do like Oubre. I think he's going to be pretty low owned, but I have some interest there. Why is everyone sleeping on Reggie Jackson? Because his price tag, I think, but I still like Reggie Jackson too. Like him, Christian Wood, and Bruce Brown are going to have to do a lot. So you can definitely make a more mid-tier balance approach with Reggie Jackson. He's 6.1K. It's a revenge spot. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. Shot the ball 24 times last game. So I do like Reggie Jackson. I do like him a good amount here. The issue is there's a chance this game blows out. Maybe he doesn't play in the 4th quarter. Thon Maker, Olynyk. Probably Thon Maker, but it's really close. Running Reggie a lot. Love Ayton. Love that everyone sleeps on Schroeder too. Yeah, I mean, I like Reggie a good amount. Schroeder's a guy that it just makes it tough for me to get to him today. So contrarian option. Dragic, Harden, Nunn, Tatum, Bojan Bogdanovic, Jones Jr., Cantor, Conley. I'm fine with that. Not super high in Bojan. I did on Twitter. Okay, I will. Did you just do it? Let's see. Let's see. Can you hit me up one more time on Twitter? I didn't see it, Eric. Unless I'm literally losing it. But yeah, I don't see that. Do you like Diallo from the Suns at 3K? I wouldn't do it on this slate. I mean, the only way he really gets there, I think, is if Aiden gets in foul trouble. Thoughts on Bogdanovich, Sacramento? Not for me. Langston Galloway's okay. Covington, not really high on Covington. CP3, locking that shit up. Not for me. Thoughts on Brad Wanamaker? I'll pass. Would just rather play Cantor. Rather play Marcus Smart than Wanamaker. Like Covington a lot. I mean, Covington is a guy that I have seen people talk about. I'm definitely fine with him. He would be my second favorite play on Houston, but I don't think he's like the best play of the slate. Damian Jones, I'll pass. I like other value plays. Are you loving pairing Ayton, Porzingis, and Embiid? Hopefully not too many people do. I don't think a lot of people do. Obviously, I love all three of those guys. Good forward for 3.5K, anyone? Probably Olynyk or Giles if he plays, or Thon Maker. Smart or Dragic, DK? I got to go Dragic there. I do like Smart, but I think I like the upside a little bit more with... That's close. It is really close. Like I do like Marcus Smart in the mid-range. I think I slightly go Dragic there. Kelly O and Thon Maker. Did I miss the core? I have it right here. And then again, Harden and those guys in the 8K range. Yeah, Jonas Valanciunas starting. Derek Jones or Bruce Brown. That's a close one too. I think Derek Jones Jr. is going to be a lot higher owned than Bruce Brown. If I was playing cash games, I probably would just play Jones. But GPPs, I like the pivot there for Bruce Brown. Josh Jackson, don't have to do it. Dragic, Harden, Oubre, Olynyk, Ayton, Nunn, Jones Jr., Cantor. Anyone relying to switch 100% out? No, I like that a lot. That is very, very similar to mine. Let's see, Melton or Teague. I got to go Teague there with no Trey Young. Again, Teague, Herter. Those are guys I have interest in, as well as Goodwin. CP3 locking up Reggie. Yeah, I mean, CP3 is a solid defender, but he is older. Tatum or Porzingis. I think I go Porzingis just because there's a better chance the Boston game blows out. So I love both those guys, though, but I will go Porzingis over Tatum. Thoughts for cash? Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Tatum, Wood, Cantor, Bruce Brown, Porzingis, and Embiid. Yeah, that's fine. Not super excited about Duncan Robinson, but he's going to play probably pretty solid minutes. Don't like Tatum with no Trey, too much blowout risk. Yeah, I mean, that's a concern with Tatum for sure, is there is a decent chance this game blows out. House or Melo for GPP? I'll actually go House. I just like the matchup better. Ben Simmons, I do like Ben Simmons. I just prefer Joel Embiid to him on the same team. And I like those other guys a little bit more than Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons is a guy that, like him and Bam, are in that next tier, like right below those guys I listed. Like Ben Simmons, Bam and Adebayo. Let me see who else would be in like next tier for me. Guys like Ibaka and Kyle Lowry. Those are the guys in like the next tier. I would say Whiteside if he plays. How do you feel about Snell? I wouldn't do it. I would rather play Thon Maker. Duncan Robinson or DeAndre Hunter with no Trey. I don't like DeAndre Hunter, but I think I gotta go with him. I just hate playing this guy, but yeah, I think I give the edge to him over Duncan just because he does a little bit more. CP3 ain't locking up nobody. Well, Maker or Tony Snell? Yeah, I'll go Thon Maker there. Tony Snell's a guy that will get more minutes most likely, but he's a very low usage guy. Like his upside is basically like 20 to 25, right? He's played 30 minutes and gotten you like 7 fantasy points. So I would rather get to Thon Maker over Tony Snell. Someone said I think it's one of the beat writers said I would expect Teague, Herter, Hunter, Collins, Jones with a bench of Goodwin, Carter, Graham, and Bruce Brown. Again, Teague and Herter, and then Brandon Goodwin. Those are the guys I have interest in Atlanta. I'm fine with Collins too as a contrarian option, but I still like those other guys more. All right, we are at lock. Let's see. What are the 2 games that locked here? Dallas, Washington, Memphis, Philly. So let's take a look at some ownership. It does take a second to load up. But I'm curious to see what Porzingis ownership is, what Joel Embiid's ownership is for these games. I bet Bam outscores Embiid, Ayton, and Unicorn. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if that's your gut, go with it. I think it's really close to me, but I like Embiid, Ayton, and Porzingis a little bit more than Bam. But Bam's a guy that I'll probably get to for sure in the late slate. Like I'm just on the late slate. I assume it's gonna be 2 games usually. Yeah, it's gonna be these 2 games for the late slate. I think I probably play 4 or 5 Miami guys, run it back with like Giles if he plays, and then like get to Whiteside. If he doesn't play, you get to Swan again, and then like you can take a shot at like Lillard or Donovan Mitchell or Conley, right? So that's the way I would go about the late slate. Love Bam, love Bam. Yeah. Let's see. I think Bam's doable for sure. Let's see. $40 single entry tournament I'm in. Porzingis is 24% owned. I like that. Let's see what we got for Embiid. Let's see if I can find him. Joel Embiid is 18%. So I like the ownership of both those guys. Embiid, I really think, can crush that salary. Hardaway, 6%. Ja Morant, 1%. Let's see if I can find anyone else here. Thank you, DK. Good luck. Yeah, of course, man. Good luck tonight. I got KP at 20%. I like that. I like that a good amount for Porzingis. Ish Smith, 5%. Wouldn't do that. Brunson, 7%. Beal at 5%. I am curious what Harden's ownership is going to be. I don't think Harden is going to be that high owned, but man, I love his upside. That's kind of all I'm seeing right now for at least in this. Let's see, Ben Simmons is 19%. So, yeah, Ben Simmons and Embiid, really close call there. I think I slightly give the edge to Joel Embiid, but I like both those guys. Any love for Fox? Not really. Jones Jr. or Cantor? Man, I would go Cantor there. I feel like this is a 400 DFS kind of night. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty high scoring. 15%. Oh, you're the man, DK. Thanks, bro. Of course, man. Good luck tonight. 15% Embiid and Porzingis for me. Let's go. I like that. So many 8K guys low owned because people are going to playing and fitting Harden. Yeah, that's it. I'm interested to see what Harden's ownership is going to be. I think it's going to be high, but not as high as we've seen some nights when Westbrook's out. Like when Westbrook's been out before, Harden's gotten to like 80%. I don't think he gets there. I also don't think he's like 20%. I think he's probably 50, 60% owned. I'm hoping Harden isn't super chalk because I faded. I think Harden will be 30, 40 plus owned. Yeah, I would say maybe a little bit higher, like 50, 50, 60, but it's close. I faded Harden today. I think you could have. I think you definitely could have. Good luck, all. Thanks for the stream, my guy. Of course, man. Thanks, DK. Yeah, of course, guys. All right. I think I'm going to hop out of here. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's important to do so. I hope he is chalk. I faded him too, praying he has a bad game. 65%. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be somewhere in like 40, 50, 60% range. Good luck, DK. Yeah, good luck, man. Again, if you guys are interested in XFL, I'm going to make this video right after I turn off this live stream. So be on the lookout for XFL content. But yeah, thanks again, guys. I really do appreciate it. Good luck, and I will see you all tomorrow.